Hey guys, I want to do a little bit of a different introduction. So we have a 2012 GMC Terrain. Customer complaint is that, well, reduce engine power light on and off, cutting off, engine pulling after 30 miles per hour. I guess it pulls or it doesn't have power. I have not test tried the vehicle because it has no power at all. So the car has 137,000 miles. This is a GDI engine, V6 3.0. So I have the scanner connected and I want to start the car because I want to feel what is this car doing cold. I got this car yesterday. So, and I did some testing yesterday. This is not the like virgin car, let's say. But yeah, I felt no power. I did check the field trims, freeze frame, and it wasn't completely obvious what is going on, even though I have no power. But I wanted to see how the car reacts cold. So that's what I'm starting the video today because I just stopped. I did collect some information with the car warm, obviously, but I wanted to see how it's with the engine cold. I have, and let me show you here. I have the picoscope ready to go because I know that I'm going to need it. I have ignition coils, just a bolt out. I removed the air filter because this filter was it's really dirty and it was oil being sucked by the crankcase system, which is not good. So I wanted to clean that and again have a better approach with this and with you guys. So let's just start the car now that it's completely cold. I'm going to ID the vehicle and see what we can see. Field trims. I also have, I think I forgot to mention the code. So we have a bolt bank, really lean, like 48% on both banks. And that was on the freeze frame, which I will show you shortly. I have also fuel rail pressure, signal or voltage high, and random is fired. All right, so let's set the ignition on. And I start with this, that ding, then let's see if I can lock the door. Makes no difference. So I don't see where the bottom is. Oh. All right, guys, sorry for that, but we're gonna have to live with it. All right, card is ID. I'm not gonna do the code scan because I already know the codes. Data display, uh, fuel trim data. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to misfire. I think I can get the fuel trims in where in there. Let me see. Get fuel rail pressure. Let's take the key once. I can't. What am I thinking out? All right. So we got history codes on cylinder 4, 5, and 6. Most of them in 5 and 6. Even though, well, actually, well, I disconnect the coil, so I raised some on cylinder 2, but cylinder 2 was having 0. Yeah, cylinder 4, 5, and 6. All right, now I need to go to field trims. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing now. I'm about to grab the camera and bring you here. I'm just selecting what I need here. So I'm gonna go to custom, deselect all, and then select the field trims. Um, Loop status. I'm gonna get 402s. Obviously engine RPM. I want to see the evap, purge, coolant, engine intake air temperature, and the map inches of my mercury. I can also see the bar to do the calculation, make sure it's reading right. And yeah, I think that's it. So again, the engine is completely closed, in cold. Right now that I got this selected, I can put the scanner right here and get you guys in there with me. All right, I closed the door so we didn't get that annoying ding. So the engine is off, as you can see. Let me start now. Hopefully it start right away. Yes, okay, the engine is running. You can see the RPM in there. Loop status is open up, obviously. It's just very cold. You cannot see in there where the coolant temperature is 75 degrees. I don't feel a misfire. It's already in closed loop, and we're getting, negative fuel trims, at least on the short term. I forgot to mention too that I found the dipstick on the oil out, or for the oil, but that's not the issue. This is something else. So the car's already in closed loop, even though you can see it's really warm. I mean, really cold, and that is the newest tragedy. They can do this based on modern O2 sensors, oil fuel ratios, and catalytic converters in the strategies, because they want to make sure that the engine is in control, I mean, emissions wise. Make sure that I got the blower working. So yeah, startup, as you can see, it's normal. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And that was exactly what I was experiencing yesterday. If you take a look at the downstream O2s, they're, very steady. Let me open up one of the upstreams so you can see up and down. In this regard, look at the values, 0.05 to 1. So that's just the scale, but the activity is good. Um, we can do the same thing on the other bank. Again, the scale is wrong, or, too big for what it is, but activity is fine. I'll, that's upstreams. And then if you take a look at the downstreams, they're steady. That is the way the GM should look. All right, so both are like that, 100 degrees. Map value is around 11.5. I think that's a little too high. 29, around 29 in here, that's what the bottle, well, actually, the bottle's right there, 29.2. That gives me what, like 17 inches? Is that correct? Right, 17 inches of vacuum? Actually, it's not so bad. Let's do not like probably 2000 RPM. I can feel a slight misfire. I am in like around 1800, and fuel trims are still in control. That's not what I was looking on the freeze frame. I'm around almost 3000, and it's the same thing. So let me stop the engine because I forgot to put the hose. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got the picoscope ready. I got the WPS 500 on cylinder 6 on range 1. I also got a sync on the control wire for the same coil on channel 2. As far as the scope settings, I got obviously channel A is my WPS 500 on range 1, and I put them into minus 55 to 500 And then channel 2, just voltage DC plus minus 10 volts. It's just an activation. I can go up to 5, but I'd rather be on 10. We don't need just for sync. I also put, 2 seconds per division, and I did a heavy mega samples, 10 million samples, and that will give me 20 seconds per screen. The first thing that I'm going to do is a cranking compression. This car has float, sorry, like clear float mode. When you just accelerate the pedal to the floor and crank it, that will give me the clear float. And then after that, I'm going to do the running compression. I'm going to do a snap throttle, let it stabilize, and then do a reverse torque power brake to see how is the engine breathing. Again, I'm thinking on uh, intake restriction. Let's see if I'm correct. I also want to give credit to the person that also deserve credit. I am also, I participate in Brandon's class on Super Saturday. He's a very sharp guy, a great instructor. I called him yesterday and kind of like giving my thoughts on what is going on. And he gave me a little bit of advice, not a little, a big advice on how to collect the data and analyze. So uh, thank you, Brandon. So let's set this up. Sorry for that, guys. So let me get you as close as I can to here. Hopefully everything is ready to go. I'm going to let probably the first screen just collect. I know it's going to be 20 seconds, but I want to start in the first screen with, the full amount. So it's almost ready. I'm about to crank it. All right, clear flow mode. All right, let go. Now I'm going to start it. That's idle. Let us stabilize. I'm going to just capture those two on the first screen. That's going to be cranking and idle. All right, that's good enough. Now, snap throttle, which it has a limiter. And now I'm going to do the power brake, reverse. We have that in there, and that should be good enough. I can turn it off. Should have let it stabilize a little more. But let's see what we got. Let me move you guys a little bit so we can both see. Let me save the file. So save us. I got already the information of the car, and I'm going to select the labels. So we got the WPS 500. So it will be cylinder compression. Let's see, cylinder pressure waveform. And they're gonna just put a notes in here. Cylinder 6. They're gonna do cranking, idle, snap, and power torque. So I remember if I see this before, or I mean later on, and then we're gonna go to like cup, and then trigger signal, and then again just cylinder 6. I can save this, get all these notifications, and then I can put cell 6. I gotta put a note to differences or difference. Defi Sorry guys, it's very early in the morning to know which one is this one because I got already some of other waveform says with the same number or same name. So that will be cranking, idle, snap, and torque. Oh. Mm-hmm. Sorry to take the time to do that. Let's go back to the first one. All right, so we got the cranking compression here. And I put a heavy, a big sample rate so we can analyze this good. We can bring the sync, and it is good. It's almost in tap dead center on cranking, which is expected. We can bring that up. We can put some cursors in here, or rulers, not cursors. Let's divide this into 5, no, 4. So tap the center, bottom the center, tap the center, bottom the center, and tap the center again, right? So we can clearly see exhaust event, intake events. How about pressure? So we got at idle, or sorry, at cranking, 187 psi. Let's put a 0. I just click in here, put the 0, and then enter, and that will give us a truly 0. Yeah, I don't see nothing abnormal. Let's see what is the pressure on the exhaust pocket at idle. We get, 5 psi. It's a little higher than what I will expect on cranking, but not so bad. That would be like close to 8, 9 inches of mercury, but that is still considered fine. Now we got here the waveform running. Again, you got the first the start, and as you can see, it's actually starting low and then it stabilizes, which is also weird because you usually see a higher and then down into normal, not like this. Let's see what we see. Just gonna move the red channel out of the way for now. Let me clear the rulers and everything in there. Trying to get as much as I can out of our way. So the 0 mark, as you can see, is still here. It looks pretty normal. The vacuum definitely changed. So let's pick up a little more. So we got a little deeper exhaust pocket, not too much, but a little lower. 8 inches, so sorry, 8 psi, almost 7.5. So it's like 16 inches of vacuum. Again, nothing abnormal, at least not in idle. I don't see any back pressure. Everything seems to be normal. Let's see what's the compression at idle. It seems also very steady across, and that is 200 pounds. Huh. Wow, 200 pounds. That is actually almost or more than cranking, isn't it? Let me take this sum out. That is higher than idle. All right, so I was not expecting that. So remember, cranking, I let off, I start a car, but that's what we're looking at right now. And I didn't have that yesterday. We have like a 98. I'll show you some of the captures saved in there, but now something has changed. This engine not as warm as it was yesterday. Hmm. Well, let's see timing. Where are my rollers in here? Okay, now I can see it. They were probably left behind. Come on. I hate the notifications when I'm working. Come on. Come on. Like the fastest says. All right, so please, people, stop texting me. Let's see. So it's looks like around 26, 27 degrees about the deepest vacuum. 42, 58. I'm a little off in here. 40. So 30 to 50, 30 to 60, 30. I mean, yeah, 30 to 50 on the deepest vacuum. Towers looks very asymmetrical. So nothing abnormal so far. Just see a little bit higher compression, and we do have a higher vacuum. Oh my God, this is annoying. Sorry for that, guys. I forgot to measure the vacuum. Let's put a 0 on here. I know which one is. Yeah, the 0 mark. I don't have any back pressure. We get like 8 psi of vacuum. Let me focus on that. And yes, now that I can see this here, they're pretty close as far as the deepest vacuum compared to the exhaust packet. But then when it stabilizes, it is a big difference. So it's like 6 and then 8. So it's like 2 psi difference. Again, let's not over analyze that. Let me clear all the rulers and everything, and let's go over to the snap throttle. So this is the snap throttle. We are losing the compression right after the snap throttle, and then picks up and then comes back. Hmm. As you can see, right after the snap throttle, it's a very low compression, and then boom, higher compression. And even the snap throttle is it's not as high. I think this is right now here when I start to accelerate the car, like around 3,000 RPM. All right, so let's see this. It's a very weird problem. See right here where the snap throttle happens. Let me see that. Let's put a 0. So it's like a vroom and then cuts off and it stays like this. So at the moment of the acceleration, I'm not seeing a heavy backing like as I was seeing before. Let me see, what is that? I mean, I shouldn't have any backing at all. I'm trying to go to the deepest exhaust packet. It's like six psi. So we're getting 13 inches of vacuum on a snap throttle. That's what I think. We have an intake restriction. I don't see a huge, back pressure. I mean, it's normal to have some under, let's call this a heavy acceleration. It's only 2 psi. It's not like super heavy. And I get more vacuum than exhaust restriction. So, hmm, and then it goes down. Like, look at right here. It is like, this is still under acceleration, 13 psi, so 26 inches of vacuum. We don't get any back pressure. See now, look at the intake compared to the exhaust packet. You see, it's huge. This definitely is screaming to me intake restriction. I erased the codes. I don't know if I told you guys. I erased the code just to have a normal let's say a normal condition on the engine while doing these accelerations. Um, let's move into the now acceleration part. See an increase on something in there. Let's get this red out of here. Actually, I can turn that for now. So let's channel B off. Yeah. So the compression is really not that stable. You can see it goes up and down from 317 to 300. Let's take a look of this a little closer. That's not gonna work. So let me come back one more time. When you select, you wanna go a little wider. Yeah, I don't see nothing abnormal. This is under acceleration. Then we have one more. No, should have let it stabilize a little more because now look at the compression in here. See, it's like I'm gonna have to start it again. See, right now we got 98 psi on idle. So what changed? Let me start the car. I'm gonna restart it and see what we got. Just gonna start it, let it idle. Wanna see that. See now we don't have that huge compression that we were having after the cranking. See what I mean? It's now stabilized. It's just 93 psi. Where we were getting 200. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to do the test one more time just to see what is the difference. One more time. Sorry, guys. And I'm gonna do this once again. How many screens can I get? It doesn't tell me, right? So let's just stop this. Use this for the cranking one. Once again, guys, sorry. Clear float mode. Let go. Start the car. I'm gonna let it idle just a little bit. That's good enough. Snap throttle. One more time. Let it stabilize. Gonna let it stabilize. You can see how the bike is start to recover, which is weird. I'm gonna do the power brake. Good enough. Then it gets stable. And go back to the scope to stop it when I need it. That should be good enough. hmm And I'm going to disregard the last, so I'm gonna use that name. So I'm gonna just put seal 2, I mean seal 6, and make sure it's captured 2. So we can erase that and put 2. You want to replace it? Yes. I want to erase. Hello. Yeah, got a notification. All right, see, now we got all the captures. right? Yes. So we got the cranking compression. I'm not going to analyze nothing yet. Start. We can see that the compression is now at 90. So what did change? We got 200 pounds at first. Zero mark. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I go to the next one. Two snap throttles. Let's use the second one since we let it stabilize. But here, see, we're not supposed to get vacuum on a snap throttle. And we're getting almost 13 inches of vacuum on a snap throttle. And it gets worse right after. So this is screaming to me an intake restriction. If we see this, the compression just loses. I mean, it dips so much right after the snap throttle, and we're now in 56 pounds. I mean, yeah, it's like nothing. That's why it has no power. On the power torque part, we're reaching around 320. And let's see, see some spikes. Is that just alias? Yeah. It was just aliases of the same capture being so far. But if we go over to the zero, my God. Oh, notifications. Sorry, guys. See a zero mark is fine. Let's see compression. I mean, not compression, pressures. Back pressure, a little higher than what we had before. But I mean, that's under a heavy acceleration and a power torque, sorry. No, nothing wrong with that. And what is our vacuum? 6 point, almost 7 pounds of vacuum on a power torque. This is intake restriction, guys. 100%. I can analyze a little more. Let me do that also is timing. Because I mean, we can have all timing issue, but why is then coming back instantly? You know, if we put rulers in here, remember we were checking this on the first captures, and I did analyze that yesterday as well. Let's zoom into this area by itself so we can be a little more accurate on the position of the rulers. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, everything looks. Look at this. This is perfect. I'm just by eye picking this up, and I can see that the exhaust valve is around now 40, 40 to 60 before top dead center. Sorry, bottom dead center. Yeah, 50. Just you cut this by easy, and now this is around what 56, something like that. 47. So I mean, rule of thumbs of what I'm been reading and in information and everything, this looks completely normal. I cannot really consider any of that under a power torque because you don't know what the strategy of the computer is as far as cam timing. So the only thing that you're expected to see on a power torque is either a very distinctive back pressure, vacuum, something like that. But even the pressure is good, so we're not going to analyze that way. So no, I don't see anything that brings or caught my eye in here. I don't see a back pressure. I only see backing when it shouldn't be backing in there. So guys,